President, I rise on behalf of the Greens to support this motion to establish a select committee. We certainly were aware of the government's promise and paid close attention. It was actually made quite public to a variety of animal advocacy groups and well known for those of us who were paying attention to such things. Duck and quail hunting is an annual event that takes place over a variable period each year, but usually commencing in March, where a season is declared, and indeed where species of usually protective native ducks are declared able to be shot under an open season. This declaration is made by the government, and thousands of ducks and other birds are shot by hunters across the state when it is each year. Some are killed outright, but others are wounded. Those wounded ducks often die a slow, painful and prolonged death in the name of this so-called sport. The practice of duck hunting is cruel. As many as 1/4 of the native ducks and quails that are shot each year are wounded and not found nor retrieved by shooters. If they are not rescued, their fate is to suffer a painful death or to live the remainder of their lives with shotgun pellets in their bodies. In increasing numbers over the last decade, animal activists have been co-present with the hunters on the wetlands where they protest and attempt to rescue wounded birds. In January this year, the Malinauskas government declared yet another open season, despite public outrage. We remain lagging behind so many other states when it comes to this barbaric practice. Indeed, Western Australia, Queensland and New South Wales have already all banned the vicious practice of duck and quail hunting for recreation many decades ago. From small volunteer groups to the RSPCA, along with the broader South Australian community, there is support for duck hunting to end. Many vets have attended duck shoots to treat injured birds and have been appalled at the extent and nature of the injuries inflicted. In urbanised areas, hunting is neither an attractive pastime nor a necessary survival activity. Studies estimate that in some waterbird species, one bird is wounded for every one killed. In 2019, the RSPCA estimated that between 26 to 45% of the birds shot will be wounded and, I quote, can suffer from the disabling effects of the industry, from sickness due to infection of the wound, from pain created by the wound, or from thirst or starvation if unable to drink or eat, often due to the injuries to the bill. Wing fractures, which increase the likelihood of being taken by a predator, are common in wounded birds. It is a natural assumption that these hunters are firing a single bullet, one at a time, to try and kill that duck or quail. However, that is simply not the case. Native birds are often shot with shotguns, also known as scatterguns. They fire 100 to 200 pellets at a time, and depending on size, many birds will be hit but keep flying. This doesn't even cover the potential collateral damage for the other species in the air, who are often caught in the crossfire. Pellets have a similar diameter to a roofing nail, so when they are driven into the body of a duck, this causes extreme pain and suffering. They can break wings, legs and beaks. Given the size of the ducks and the speed at which they fly, they may be hit by only 1 or 2 pellets, which is often not enough to kill them. Those ducks that are shot and injured severely enough to bring them down may die slow and painful deaths if the shooters do not retrieve them. If they are retrieved, hunters will often break their necks to kill them by swinging their bodies around and around. Otherwise, they might throw the wounded ducks to their dogs to finish them off. They, of course, can do nothing and simply allow them to struggle until they die from these injuries. For many of us, when we think of ducks, we remember our time as young children, or our storybooks, in cartoons, and of course in real life at the edge of lakes and rivers. We are encouraged to observe them, to adore them, to make connections with them. We went in our childhoods to go to feed the ducks at the local pond with our parents or grandparents. These days, children, of course, still go to the local pond, but are encouraged not to feed the ducks. However, there is often those fond memories handed down from generation to generation. Yet juxtaposed with this, of course, each year for several months in our state, those ducks that many of us are raised to a door are being killed, maimed and traumatised. Research argues that modern sophisticated technology for locating, tracking, targeting and killing these birds means an unfair stack in favour of the hunters. Despite arguments by hunters, the net economic benefit received from hunting native birds is close to zero. Additionally, banning duck hunting has been modelled to have minimal impact on our economies. And according to the Australia Institute, who've commissioned a report on this matter called Out for a Duck, every dollar that is currently spent on duck and quail hunting could be spent on other activities such as the hunting of other species, fishing, boating or camping. It is often considered that duck hunting is defended by the notion of conservation hunting. Native birds, however, are not overpopulated, and as native species are not pests. In this situation, it is known that hunting is a potential threat to viable duck populations rather than being a means of ecosystem control. In terms of the decision made each year to declare a duck hunting season, it is not lost on the Greens that that decision is never made on the grounds of animal cruelty. Animal cruelty is not a factor that decides whether or not that season is declared, and only the levels of population and the current climatic and environmental conditions are a feature in that decision. I would contend that it has actually even been cruel to put some of those animal welfare advisory groups in that room to make that decision, and I've had feedback from some of those who've had to sit in that room that it is indeed the worst day of the year when they have to attend those meetings completely constrained from putting forward their opinions that this is a cruel and barbaric and innately painful decision that they have to make, where they are not able to voice their concerns about the animal welfare but only able to give an opinion on the environmental factors. So with that, I do commend the introduction of this review. The Greens look forward to participating in it. We were certainly well aware of the Labor government's promise to have a review of this. It has been well ventilated in the public arena, and we hope that we see the Parliament get on with it and come back with some certainty for the ducks that allow them to live without cruelty.
Mr Pengello.